Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing part 3 of this video series, doing Sally from Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas crochet kit. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in, and for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are continuing part 3. We have 2 arms to make, and then we have Sally's hair and dress left, and then that will be it for this video series. I am going to do Oogie Boogie next per request. If you need a lefty video, just comment below and I'll do them. I normally do always the lefty for each one, but look how large this is, you guys. So I will do them upon request, but I really am not going to do it this time around because it is very large of a project to do 2 of each. But anyway, before I do Oogie Boogie, I do have to fit in a Thanksgiving pumpkin crochet kit that I got from Target. So I had no idea Target has crochet kits. And what I've seen so far, comment below if you've seen more of them. But so far I've seen the large blanket kit. I've seen the granny square bag. And then I'm going to do the pumpkin loom kit that I got. So I'm going to try to punch that out, and then we'll go straight away back to Oogie Boogie. Okay, so let's just jump into this. If you need to speed up or slow down the video, click on the gear button in the corner. They have playback speeds. I do break down each new stitch per video, even though we've gone over it in other videos, especially if it's a part video, like part 1, part 2, part 3. Even if I show in part 1, if it's new in the video of part 3, I'll still break it down for you because sometimes we forget. So I'll break it down about 3 times in 3 rows of each project, and then I kind of just I wouldn't say breeze through it, but I just go about it normally as if I would. So I know there have been comments about slowing down the whole video, but that's virtually impossible because then the 2-hour video would probably be like a 4-hour video, and I'm just not sure my editor can do that. These apps can only take so many gigs, especially uploading. Uploading would probably take forever. So we're just going to do it that way. If you're a visual person, you can lower the volume on your phone and then click on the CC button in the corner. Okay, so let's get this started. This is an Amazon kit, by the way, so I will leave the direct link to the Amazon kit in the description box below. These kits, you guys, I'm not sponsored by anything. When it comes to crochet kits, I get what is either popular, or if someone asks me to help them out with, or if I find it interesting, something I like to do, I will go and make a video from it. So rest assured, I'm not trying to promote anything. I'm just trying to create this as I go, like you guys. I'm typically doing this for the first time, just like you guys. So I will try at best to edit out the mistakes, but I usually leave in normal mistakes that I make and undo it because that's just life, you know. But if it's something just totally blatant and I can find it and catch it in while I'm editing, I'll do so. Sometimes going through all the feed is just really hard. Okay, so let's get started. We'll be doing this for righty. So for the first round of the arm, we have to use with light blue, and in my box they gave me light green. I wouldn't say this is a light blue at all, but you know, make do. We have to make 6 single crochet stitches in an adjustable ring. So let's show you guys how to do an adjustable ring. You want to grab some yarn here, and we're going to wrap this around your index finger about 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna leave just a little bit on the end piece here, so we can take our middle finger and just hold it down. And then we're gonna do palm side up. You have your 3 strands here. I'm gonna grab the hook that the kit came with. We're gonna slide it right underneath the 3 strands, and I'm gonna pull this one under these 2. So tilt your hook to the side so you can get underneath these 2, but at the same time try to grab this piece and just drag it underneath the 2 strands here. Okay, and you see what I did there? See, like, common mistake. The yarn isn't of great quality, by the way, so it's very loose. Some of these yarns that you get that are expensive, they're tightly woven, so it's really hard to like put your hook through it. I put my hook through it, you can see right here. So for the sake of correcting, also to help those that are truly a beginner, let's redo this. Alright, so take some yarn. We're going to wrap it around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. You want a little bit of overage. I've done this a bunch of times, so usually the overage is just the right amount. If you have like way more than you need, you can always just adjust that by pulling your yarn to make that excess piece a little shorter. Right, we're going to take our middle finger and we're going to place it just over that piece. Then we're going to palm side up. We have our 3 strands. We're going to take our hook, try to slip it all underneath the yarn so you don't go through it like I did last time. Tilt your hook to the side so you can grab this strand and drag it under these 2. Okay, and once we've done that, we just have to close this adjustable ring, and to do that we're going to do a yarn over. And so what that means is we're going to take this yarn here and we're going to put it over the hook like that. You want it to lay over the hook. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to drag the hook back through this loop, and we're going to drag this strand, this loop, through that one. So let's do that now. And we've closed the adjustable ring. So now you can let go of your middle finger. You can you can slip the adjustable ring off your index finger. And this is what it's gonna look like. It looks like crap, but that's okay. That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay. So now we can do our first round of 6 single crochet stitches. Whenever you do with single crochet stitches, it usually takes 1 chain of height. If you do a double crochet or a half double crochet stitch, it's 2 chains. If you do a triple, it's a 3 chainer. But since amigurumi is typically single crochet, I'm not saying it is all the time, it's 1 chain every time you do a round. So let me show you how to do 1 chain. So we're going to yarn over again, which is taking this yarn here and putting it over the hook, and that's why it's called yarn over. And then we're going to pull this strand here through this loop. So let's do that now, and that's pretty much what a chain is. A yarn over, pull through the loop, 1 chain. So now we can do 6 single crochet stitches. Let me show you how to do that. So we're going to take our hook, put it into the 2 rings here like that. We're going to yarn over, we're going to pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over again and pull through 2 loops into the adjustable ring. Put your hook in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we just created 2 single crochet stitches. Here's one. You see the nice braiding. You can tell that this is 1 whole stitch. This is 2. You get a nice braiding. 2. And then this one here that looks like kind of crap, that's your chain stitch. Okay, so that's how much you're supposed to have. Let me walk through this with you guys one more time. So into the adjustable ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So now we have 3 single crochet stitches and then our chain stitch, and we just have to repeat this 3 more times with the single crochet stitch, and then we'll move on to the next part. So 3 more single crochet stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we have in total 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then our chain stitch. You always want to, when you're done with the whole round, you always want to count your number of stitches to make sure you have everything there. It's good to catch your mistakes beforehand before you move on to the next round, because then that's a lot more that you have to undo. So after we complete the 6 single crochet stitches, we have to close the adjustable ring. You see how there's this huge hole here? And then we're going to do a slip stitch to complete the round. So how to do that is we're going to pinch with your thumb and whatever else finger, ring, middle. I'm going to use my middle finger. We just want to hold that chain stitch at the bottom. Just snug enough to keep it stable, the project stable, because what we're going to do is we're going to pull this excess piece out. You have 2 loops here for the adjustable ring. Let's call this front loop, let's call this back loop. I'm going to pull this nice and slow because I want to watch to see which one of these loops goes into the ring first. It may be the front, it may be the back, and whatever you're doing on your end, it may be opposite from what I'm doing, so this is where you have to kind of pay attention to it closely. So I'm going to start pulling this, and don't pinch this too tight, otherwise you can't pull it, but pull it slowly, and then I can see that the back loop of my project is the one going in first. So I'm going to stop right here. You go do the same. It could be the back loop, it could be the front loop. Whatever loop it is, we're going to grab that one. So in my case, it's the back loop. I want to pull it out from this lower end. So I'm going to find my back loop back here, and I'm going to start pulling it out from this lower end. If it's the front loop for you, you pull the front loop at that lower end. Okay, so in my case, it's the back loop, so I'm going to pull this lower end out, and I'm going to start watching the other front loop or back loop, whichever your case may be. I'm going to watch it go into that adjustable ring. And once it's all gone, then you can move on to the next part. The hole doesn't necessarily need to be entirely closed yet. You see how it's a little open. No worries, we will close it in the end. We're just making sure that front loop disappears, because if we do it the other way where we just pull this all out, the loops are going to bunch and it's going to look bumpy and awful. Okay, so after you do that, now we're going to grab the excess piece and pull the back loop, in my case, whichever case it is for you, and we're going to make sure that disappears. Once that loop disappears, your hole should actually be entirely closed. If it's not, you can still kind of finagle the excess yarn, like pull it this way, pull it this way, pull it this way. Don't pull it too tight, but just snug enough to where that hole is now gone. Okay? So now to finish this round, we have to do a slip stitch. So like I said, we always count before we close out our rounds. So let's put our hook 6 stitches from the hook. So from the hook, we don't count the one that's on the hook, we count the next one over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put my hook into that 6th stitch. And we're doing front and back loops. You see how we got that just under the braid? I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through all the loops off the hook. And this is the last stitch we made. I'm going to grab one of the markers that they leave you in this kit. slip it underneath that last stitch, both front and back loops, just like this. Close the little stitch marker, and this indicates the next round, round 2. So let's move on to round 2. Okay, first round done. It's smooth sailing from here. No, it's not, but we can dream. Okay, so this indicates round 2. We have to do round 2 through 4, 6 single crochet stitches. So these markers come in handy. I think they give you like 4, something like that. If you can go on a hobby store or on Amazon and buy a pack of like a billion, no, just more than 4, it'll be helpful, because there's gonna come a point, and there has come a point in these projects where it's like a lot of rows, and it'd be helpful if you had that many to cover with, because this is your round counter. For someone like me that has poor memory, these definitely help me out keep track of how many rounds I'm doing. So let's lay these out. 2, 3, 4. Simple enough. I have that many. So let's do 6 single crochet stitches for the next 3 rounds, and let me show you how to do that. Again, when dealing with single crochet stitches for the rounds, you have to do a chain 1 for the height. So yarn over, pull that through the loop, and you have your chain 1. Then we're going to go into the next stitch, and we're going to do a single crochet stitch. Let me show you how to do that. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's a single crochet stitch and a chain stitch. Let's do this again. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 2 single crochet stitches and a chain stitch. Let's do this one more time with you guys. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 3 single crochet stitches, a chain stitch. Now we only have to repeat this single crochet stitch 3 more times. So let's do that. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we have completed all that. I'm going to leave this on here because this is going to remind me that this is round 2. So let's close off our round with a slip stitch. You count 6 single crochet stitches from the hook, not this one on the hook. Let's go to the next one and start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to put your hook into the 6th stitch, front and back loops. We're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops, and then I'm going to mark off the last stitch we've made, front and back loops, and close off the marker. So now we have round 2 and round 3. We're going to be working on round 3 next. Okay, again, 6 single crochet stitches. Let's make the chain stitch for the height. Yarn over, chain 1. Then we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then we just got to repeat this 3 more times. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Then we're going to count back 6 stitches from the hook. Not on the hook, but the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You put your hook into that 6th stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull through all loops, and then we're going to mark that last stitch and close it, and then we're going to do the 4th round. Now As you see, you guys, our project wants to curl into itself. That's normal. But what we want to do is invert this because the wrong side is showing currently. You see how you can't really see the rows, and then you have this excess piece just sticking out. We just have to invert this inside out. So just push the inside into the outside, and then you can tuck in this excess piece into that little hole that we have here. And that also kind of counts as stuffing too, so that's always great. You want to try not to crochet into that, it gets a little messy. But you see now all your markers are on the outside of your project, and then you can see all the defined rows. 1, 2, 3. Now we just have to do one more of the 6 single crochet stitches. Okay, so chain 1, and we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we're going to remove this latest marker here because we're no longer keeping track of the rounds. We did all of them. Pull this one out. We're going to count back 6 stitches and then do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You put your hook into the 6th stitch, and then we're going to do a slip stitch. Okay. And then I'm going to remove these other 2 because they are no longer needed. And we're going to move on to round 5. So amigurumis are fun to do once you figure it out, and they're pretty much the same, just like what we did. Sometimes there's variation, sometimes it does get a little complicated, but these 4 rounds that we did are typically what they are. So please don't be discouraged doing this project or any other project. Everything is doable. If you need to, again, just request anything that you need me to look into, and I can make a video for it for you. You can comment below or email me, or however, I have Instagram too. Okay, and Twitter actually. But anyway, round 5, we have to do an increasing stitch and 5 single crochet stitches to equal 7 stitches in total. So let me show you how to do an increasing stitch. First, we're going to chain 1 like we always do, and then we're going to do an increasing stitch. So basically it's taking 1 stitch and creating 2 stitches in it. So put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do a single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We have our single crochet stitch. Now we're going to go back and stick our hook into that same stitch that we just used. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So now we actually have 2 single crochet stitches coming out of that 1 stitch, and that's basically what an increasing stitch is. So now let's do 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I'm gonna remove the marker, and we're gonna count back 7 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and do a slip stitch. And then I'm going to mark off that last stitch we made. Okay. Then we're going to move on to round 6 through 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to do 7 crochet stitches in every round. Okay. So chain 1 and do 7 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. We're going to remove the marker. Oh no, keep it in there. You can put it back in. Sorry. We're keeping track of the rounds. I do that all the time. Alright, so count back 7 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do a slip stitch. And then we're going to mark off the last stitch. And we're going to do the next round. So 7. We're going to do 7 crochet stitches. Chain 1. And do 7 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, we're going to count back 7 stitches and do a slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do a slip stitch. Mark off our last stitch. And we're going to do round 8. So chain 1, 7 single crochet stitches. Okay, now we're going to count back 7 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, put your marker into the last stitch, and then we're going to do the last round from this group, round 9. Let me get some more yarn here. I like to make sure I have a lot of yarn actually. You don't have to do it this way. The book actually shows you, I think, how you can feed your own yarn. I've always done this way since, 30 plus years ago. No, maybe 30 years ago. So old habits never die. But I like doing it. Look how nice that is. Anyway. One more of 7 single crochet stitches. We're going to, hold on, this is twisted. We're going to chain 1 and do 7 crochet stitches. Comment below, let me know how long you've been crocheting for. It's okay if, you find yourself as an advanced and having difficulty. I mean, that's me some of the time. If you're an intermediate and have difficulty, that's bound to happen. And even if you're a beginner, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I actually do not think that these are good for beginners. I think they're good for beginners because they actually show you in the book how to do all these stitches, which is very important. But from the get-go, it is very intimidating. And to be honest, I commend you for even trying this out if you are a beginner. Okay, so let's count back 7, 3, 6, 7. These projects are huge. I was shocked. Like I said in my last video, I would prefer it if they didn't have it so big. But I get it because these pieces are small. Alright, so let's remove this marker from the last round. We're done with counting. I'm going to mark my last stitch there. I'm going to remove these other ones because we don't need them anymore. And then we're going to move on to round 10. Okay. Now for round 10, we're going to do an increasing stitch. We're going to do 6 single crochet stitches and end up with 8 stitches altogether. So we're going to chain 1 and do an increasing stitch. So again, it's taking 1 stitch and turning it into 2. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. It's caught in something. Hold on, let me do that again. Into the next. Oh, I see what I did there. I try to be careful not to grab anything else. Okay, into the next stitch. Yarn over, my throat, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So again, taking 1 stitch and turning it into 2 stitches. We have 2 single crochet stitches and our chain stitch. So now we can do 6 single crochet stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So now we can count back 8 stitches and do a slip stitch. Let me just remove this marker. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. We're going to yarn over and slip through all loops to make a slip stitch. Mark off our last stitch. Okay. And then we're going to move on to rounds 11 through 15. So 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so for 11 through 15 rounds, we have to do a single crochet stitch in all 8 stitches. Okay. Alright, so chain 1 and do 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to count back 8. Leave the marker. We're counting the round. So let's count back 8 and do a slip stitch. Okay. Mark off your last stitch. And we're on to round 12. Chain 1. And then we're going to do 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, we're going to count back 8 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do a slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 1 to the next round. 8 single crochet stitches. Count back 8 stitches and do a slip stitch. 3, 6, 8. Mark off your last stitch. Chain 1. Let me get some more yarn here. Just getting tangled up with the skein that they provided. It's not really the best ones that I've seen in kits. It's just everything gets tangled, especially when you're getting down to the last bits of it. Okay. Okay, chained 1, we're going to do 8 single crochet stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do a marker at the last stitch, and then we're going to do the last round 15. We're going to chain 1 and do 8 single crochet stitches. Oh my gosh, I lost it. All right. Ah, I got tangled. Okay. Let's do this again. Okay, so I am going to count back 8 and do a slip stitch. 3, 6, 8. And then I don't need to do a mark it because we're in the last part right now. It says fasten off, leaving a tail for sewing. Trim off 2 4-inch pieces of craft wire and insert them into each arm. Sew the arms to the body. So let me remove these markers. Okay. Oh no. Dropped one. I'm going to cut, I don't know, we have to sew this, so I'm going to cut off a decent amount of yarn. Just want to make sure you have enough to sew around. So to fasten off, what you want to do is we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through the loop all the way out. So keep pulling until it's all the way through the loop, and then we're gonna pull till that stitch is nice and snug. And here is our first arm. So let me do the second arm and then I'll show you how to sew them on. I'm not a sewer, but we gotta cut the wire and sew it. For me, hope for the best. All right, be right back. Okay, got my second arm. Let's cut the wire. We need 4-inch piece of wire. I got my wire here. I think they give you enough. They said they give you enough to make Jack and Sally, so you shouldn't need any more wire, but I would suggest if you're, I didn't look ahead to the book. But even if you were planning on making more than one Sally or Jack, I definitely would get wire. If you're doing the Santa Jack Skellington, for sure you're going to need more wire. Man, my voice is just acting like a teenager right now. Okay, so let's cut 2 pieces of this 4-inch wire. And my wire that I have, I happen to have it. It is thicker than the wire that you're using. I actually, if you can use stronger wire, because sometimes this thing will be holding up nothing. It's supposed to hold up the head. Anyway, okay, let's get our project back over here. 4-inch piece of craft wire, insert them in each arm. How come it doesn't tell you to stuff it? Like, she's got spaghetti arms. I don't like that. I think I tried stuffing. Did I stuff Jack Skellington's arms? I don't think I did, actually. Alright, so I guess no stuffing. Not a fan, because it's kind of squishy. If you can fit stuffing in there, by all means. I can't. There's just no way. And I think this one, because I tied it, I crocheted it tighter than the first one. It's a little, okay. Grab your tapestry needle. Alright, let's set one aside. Alright, it's funny because it usually tells you where to sew the arms, and it didn't tell you. Which is crazy because you're going to make the dress and you should sew it where they want you to sew it, because you have to slip the arms in there unless you're just sewing the dress directly onto the body. So, does it say anywhere? No, it doesn't. Alright, best bet, just try to guess. We found a flaw in this wonderful book. Alright, and as far as, like, I always try to find what looks best, if this looks good, like as a right arm, right leg, left leg. And then just, where do you sew this guy? Alright. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at that. There's no stuffing in there. How is there like stuffing on this thing? Oh no, that's just colored yarn. You know what I would do actually, because this is not safe for kiddos, because it's poking through. I would try to wrap some stuffing around the ends so that at least, you know, it's not trying to poke through your project. Will it work? I'm not sure. But something, because you know me. I don't like to do like plastics and stuff on crochet projects. I don't even know if this is gonna even stay. Like it's right there. It's not. Maybe I can poke this down in there. I just need some cushion. Gosh, and it's still poking through anyway. All right, never mind. All right. So I'm going to sew this right where it kind of gets wider. Whether or not it's right, I have no idea, but it says sew the arms to the body. That's all it says. I think these things should never leave any room for interpretation because, you know, not everyone's gonna know. Like right now, I'm not a sewer. How in the world would I know this? Well, let's hope for the best. Hopefully you have to sew the dress directly on there, because we're gonna have a problem. We might have a problem putting her arms in the sleeve holes if... You know what I mean? Okay, let me just concentrate. I'm not skilled enough. I gotta concentrate harder for this. Cut off the yarn, and then we're going to take this hook and come up right where the excess piece is coming out. I'm going to drag it into the project to make it disappear. Okay. And that wire's, be careful, it's sticking up from the shoulder. I don't like that, but again, we're just doing what it tells us. So now we got to do this other arm, which is shorter, because I did the stitches tighter on this one. Yeah, consistency is key, and it happens to the best of us. So if you have the same issue, comment below, and don't fret. This is our first Sally. You can always make another one, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to try to bury this into the hand. Okay. Alright, let's take our needle. And it's taking us about an hour to do the arms. We'll see where we are with the dress and the hair. I'd hate to do another part video. Okay, let's see. Let's do it this way. I'm going to try to pick the same height of the arm so that it's uniform.
Hello.
Playing with Dexter. Always a good time. I'm tucking this piece into the body and hoping for the best. It's poking out of everywhere, so again, I wouldn't recommend these. I would recommend supervision for the littler ones, because you don't want them to poke their eyes out with these things. Okay, making my last sewing parts here. Gonna cut this off. We're going to drag this into the project. Let's try a different spot here. Okay. So now that we've finished sewing the arms, this is as good as it's gonna get. Let's do the hair. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. Alright, so for the hair, work at a looser tension or use a bigger crochet hook to get a softer effect on Sally's hair. So we have to use red. We can put this supposed light blue away. I don't think we're going to be using that anymore. And then I'm going to go and grab the red that we've got right here. It's the same terrible, like, wrapped up yarn. So let me get this situated and I'll be right back. Okay, from here on out, I don't think we're using any adjustable ring, which is good, but also I'm looking at some of this stuff and it's looking very intimidating. Okay, no, work, okay, I read that. With red, here we go with the voice. With red, chain 31, skip the first chain from the hook and single crochet 30 single crochet stitches and turn. Alright, so let me show you how to cast on. You want to grab the end of your yarn and grip it with your ring, pinky, and thumb. And then you want to grab your index and middle and spread apart the yarn about like 1.5 inches wide. We're going to take our hook and lay it perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to make a loop, and I'll do that again for you. So perpendicular to the yarn, down, out, and around to make a loop. We're going to hold that crossing with our middle finger here, so just place it right there. Then I'm going to let go of my left hand. I'm going to gather up some yarn. Then I'm going to pinch the end of this yarn here. We're going to slide the hook towards the end piece like that, and where it crosses you want to pinch that with your thumb and your middle finger, just like that, so that you stabilize that loop. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this through the loop like that. And before you start tightening it, like I accidentally did, overhand your hook like that. You want to pinch the end piece. We're going to push this knot towards your thumb, and I kind of screwed up, so just keep pushing till you can't push it anymore. That knot is going to get tighter. So then, just to make sure that that knot is snug, then you can grab the end piece and pull out and tug on it a little bit. Now, because I slipped and I pulled it accidentally, my excess piece is a little longer than I normally like it, but this is going to prevent you from wasting too much yarn. I know that sounds a little nuts, but sometimes when you're down to the wire and you need that little extra piece of yarn to finish, I've had that happen to me, but I just like not wasting too much yarn. So hopefully yours is shorter than mine, but not too short because you don't want to lose it. But anyway, so now I'm going to grip this knot right there, and I'm going to pull it up to the hook, not all the way, just a little bit. So let's do that now. Just pull it up towards the hook, and you want to leave yourself some room because we're going to be doing some chain stitches on here. So now I'm going to wrap some yarn around my finger, and we're going to count 31 chains. Yep, fun stuff. Let me fix my light here. Okay, so let's do 31 chains. Stabilize your loop on your hook by just holding on to the knot. Not too tight, just enough to where it's stabilized and you have better control of your project. What we're going to do is yarn over, and we're going to pull through the loop, and we've created our first chain. So we just have to do 30 more. I suggest counting on the way up and then counting when you're done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, we did one before, so we should have 31. You can count back and make sure you have 31 altogether. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 1. So we have 31. You want to make the stitching, like it said, loosely, so that it could be like not so stiff hair. We're going to skip the first chain from the hook and do 30 single crochet stitches. So like I said, it's always a chain for the height, and that's why we skip one. Now let me explain to you pieces of this chain. So each stitch is a braid. As you see, you have this nice braid. We have, it's either the front or back loop, top or bottom loop, however you lay it is how it's called. If you flip this around, you'll see the back side of these chain stitches, and it looks like loops in a single line and then loops on each side. So if you change it to its side profile, you can see the back loops and then the loops in the front here. Now, normally when you do these things, you usually use, since we're ready, it'll go this way. We're going to put it on the top loop as opposed to the bottom loop, and that's how you normally do your single crochet stitches in this case, just like that. Now, but for me, because I like to keep this nice braiding intact, what I do is I turn it on its side profile and I use those back loops. I call them humps. And that's just what I do. It's not normal. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You can still just go about the normal way and stick it on the top loop. But for me, I'm going to turn it on its profile and I'm going to put it on these humps. That way I get to keep this braid. Okay, so let's do a single crochet stitch. So we skipped the first stitch, which would be right here. So we're going to be putting this into the next stitch. If you're doing this normal, you just put this on the top loop like that to do your single crochet stitch like we've been doing. If you're just going to follow what I'm doing, turn it on its side. I'm going to stick it right into that hump. This hump piece here. That right there. So I'm going to stick it in there. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So I did a single crochet stitch on my chain links here, and we just have to do 29 more. So let me show this again to you guys. So into the next stitch, put your hook in the loop, then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we have 2 single crochet stitches. I'll show this to you again one more time. We have 28 more to do. Stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we have 3 single crochet stitches and 27 more to go. Let me just take this moment to show you why I put it in the back loop. So you see that the stitches is creating the braid that we normally see. If you turn this upside down, we still have the braiding from the chains that you can see, and that's why I do it. It just looks nicer. Okay, so 27 more, you guys. Let's do this in silence. Okay, so I left the last one because I do have that extra long tail. I mean, it's not extra long, I'm just being crazy, but we have this little piece left in the wind. I want to try tucking it into my stitch. So for the last single crochet stitch, go about sticking your hook into the next stitch. Now I'm going to try to fold this back onto the hook. That little piece, if you can see what I'm doing here, just fold it back into the hook. And then I'm going to do my yarn over to do my single crochet stitch, and that's going to kind of tuck that piece away for you. May not be perfect, but at least it's something. So it's not really flapping in the wind, it's kind of tucked back here, still fluffy. But I can either trim that or just ignore it. Okay, so we have our first row done, and then we have to turn. So turning is basically just flipping this around. Because we're righties, we want to be able to have our project always to the left of us. If it's to the right, it means we have finished this round and we have to row, in this case, we just have to turn it. Okay, so now for rows 2 through 24, which is going to be a nightmare because we have to keep track of it. We have to chain 1 and single crochet stitch in all 30 stitches in back loop only. So I'll show you that, and we have to turn off. So it's kind of easy because it's going to be the same 30 stitches back loop only until the end of the 24th stitch. The only hard part is keeping track of where we're going. So I know you guys don't have as many clips as I do, but in my world, I'm going to pull out mine. Sorry. So we're going to mark off the last stitch like I always do. Okay. Just to signify that we're now going to work on row 2. And then 3, 4. We're going to see how many I have. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So actually I have 21, but let's do 20, and that way I can tell myself I have to add 4 more after I'm done with 20. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I don't know what I'm counting here. I just wanted to replace the one that was tighter. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, just had a momentary lapse there. We have, well, I have, hopefully you have 24. If you just got this kit, you definitely don't. You'll just have to keep like track, maybe put them every 3 or 5 rows so that you, because I think these only come, the kit only came with like 4 or 5 of them. So I just have to remember after I finish this I gotta do 4 more rows. So that's how you kind of beat it. Like I said, it really helps if you go ahead and get those markers off of Amazon or a hobby store. Alright, so let's show you what back loop only is. So we're gonna chain 1. Oh, this is turned, so we're still gonna chain 1 to make the height, and then we're gonna do a single crochet stitch back loop only. So in this case, since we're looking technically at the back side, these stitches now, this is actually the front loop and this is the back loop. So whatever side you're facing, you have to change what you call front and back. So we are looking at the back side, but this stitch here is the front loop, and then the one behind it is the back loop. The back loop is what we're going to be working on. So maybe I'll do, like I said, I'll do 3 rows with you, and then we'll do the rest in silence. So I'm leaving this marker in, so it might be a little difficult, but what you want to do is, you see this braid? We're going to stick it into the back loop to do our first single crochet stitch. So stick your hook into the back loop. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and again do this loosely so that it's kind of loose flowing. It's supposed to be hair. So the next stitch, here's the braid. I just tilted it. Here's the braid. We're going to stick it into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and again, so twisting it so you can see it, back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we just have to do 27 more. So I'm just going to do this to the end, you guys, and then we're going to turn. I'm going to show you again, back loop. All right, so 27 single crochet stitches. Okay, so we have 30 stitches. You can count back just to make sure. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Okay, so before we turn, I'm going to mark this off, and this is going to indicate that we are now going to be doing round 3. Turn it. So now this is the front side. But, you know, since it's just weird. But now this is the front side. So this is the front stitch, or front loop, and this is the back loop. Okay, so whatever side you're facing, front is always front, back is always back. But, you know. Okay, so let's do this again. Chain 1. Again, loose stitches. So we're going to look at that front and back loop. We're going to put it into the back loop, the hook. So put it into the back loop. And I'm like looking through the camera to do this. Alright. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Let's do this again. Into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we just got to do 27 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We just get some more yarn. Sixteen, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Okay, let's count back just to make sure. 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Okay. So what we're going to do is mark the last stitch. We're going to turn the project again. So now we're going to chain 1, and then the front loops are right here. The back loops are in the back right here. So we're going to stick our hook into the back loop here. Try to move this stuff out of the way. Into the back loop. It's right here. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the back loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the back loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So again, we just have to do 27 more, but this time I'm going to do all of it. We're going to do the rest in silence. So good luck, you guys. Okay, so I did 24 rows. Looks like this. Fasten off, leaving a tail for sewing. Fold the short side of the rectangle in half and sew on one side. What? Come on now. That will be the hair part. Sew the hair on top of Sally's head. Alright, let's leave a good amount for sewing. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna need. This is how much red is left, so in case you're wondering. Beginners tend to do very loose stitching, which is okay, but if this is how much is left over, if you seem to have run out, I mean, you know, it happens. You can either buy more or I think that's the only option, because the other option is just to undo the whole thing and crochet it tighter, but yeah, I don't think you'd want to do that. Alright, let me just double. I think I have 30 here. Okay, so to fasten off again, you just yarn over and pull this all the way out, all of it. Okay, then you tighten up the knot. Alright, and then I have to figure out what in the world is it saying. Okay, leaving tail for the fold the short side of the rectangle in half. Okay, so let's say this is the short side, so fold it in half. Ah, okay. And sew on one side, so that's sewing on this side, that will be the hair part. Sew the hair on top of Sally's head. Alright, let's grab my tapestry needle, and seeing as this took fairly long, sad to say, I think we're gonna have to do the dress in a part 4 video. Okay, so we have to fold it on the short end and then sew it on one side. Okay, so I sewed this in half. I'm gonna have to sew this onto the head. So you know what I'm gonna actually do? I'm going to go over and go under. Like this. Okay. And then just under here, I'm just gonna go in and out of the stitching to get to the front. Oh, I actually like this. It's nice and smoother. Here it's like very Poindextery. I'm going to flip this inside out, because there's not a point at the end there. There's a point at the end here. Okay, so now I just have to sew this onto the head. Let's put this back down in here. Okay, so let's get our Sally. Now it'll probably look like normal. Right now she looks like an alien. We're gonna fit her head on here. Oh, look at your hair, girl. She's looking like she's got a nice head of hair. Alright, and then we just have to sew the hair on top of her head. Now, I guess it doesn't say where to place it, but you can place it however you want. You want a big forehead, you can do it here. Small forehead, you can do it here. In the middle somewhere. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just sew around her head to secure this. Again, not a seamstress, so don't come for me. I'm just gonna do what I think is best to just get this sucker on here, and I'm just gonna sew it all the way around. Okay, then I'm gonna cut a piece here, and we are going to drag it into her head. Okay, and so we have her hair. I mean, I have to admit this is turning out a lot better than Jack Skellington did. Look at this voluptuous hair. Boop. Underside, in case you're wondering. I mean, it's not symmetrical, but you know, it looks alright. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. She's got some nice thick hair here. So we're gonna do a part 4 video, guys. Sorry, unfortunately this video is already so long. We are gonna try doing the dress. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really scared about it. We gotta do this and sew it together, and then the final pieces are going to be sewing all the stitching on her. So Part 4 might be another long one. I mean, her dress is like 3 pages long. And then we get a relief with Oogie Boogie. Hopefully he won't be as hard as Sally. At any rate, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. I know these are long videos. I hope that they're helping you in creating these characters. We are going to go through the book. I'll try as much as I can to finish all the characters. If not, there's always next year. But as a reminder, this week I am going to be doing the Thanksgiving pumpkin loom for you guys before we do Oogie Boogie. So in case you don't see Oogie Boogie right away, I'm just doing the pumpkin, and then after Thanksgiving's over, we'll continue with Oogie Boogie. But hopefully I can put out the dress tomorrow, cross fingers, and then do the pumpkin, so we'll be ready to go next week with Oogie Boogie. At any rate, so thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.